you son of a bitch. Cause Pawn's drunk loves ya.
Sunday morning, let's go. Punch drunk, baby.
Get the light, get the light beat going. Get the light, get the light beat going. Get the light, the light. Get the light beat going. Get the light, the light. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hangover boxing. What?
No beef, no 50, no game.
Okay. What? Let's go.
With all my might.
Smash that light, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that light. Smash that light.
No music. No music. No music.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You already know this is Plunge Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself, a.k.a. El Adobo, a.k.a. El Sazón, a.k.a. El Borracho, a.k.a. Café Bustelo, a.k.a. El Pastor de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this side of heaven. God bless you all. Yeah, man. Yeah. I told you 2026 is going to be one of the historic years in the sport of boxing. I told you that 2026 may outdo 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, man, boxing is good, man. Boxing is starting off with a great head start. Y'all already know January, the first weekend of January, we had Amanda Serrano, the 7th Division World Champion, featherweight undisputed, starting everything off. Y'all already know ladies first. Boricua la reina, you already know. Then we led up even ending the month. One of the biggest fights of this generation, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson put a boxing display that I didn't even think that, damn, man, my guy was going to get beaten like that. I didn't even think it was going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I always said when the smoke clears, it will be T.O. versus Shakur Stevenson. But damn, man, Shakur won every goddamn round. Got to give a lot of credit to Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? But we the boxing fans, so sometimes we look past opponents, past events, and we just want to go right back to the next. We just want to go to the next. So y'all already know, you see the poll right now. What's going to be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing? What you think is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing? Whatever's your pet peeve, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to Low Nose Boxing, one of the members. If you haven't become a member of the Plunge on Boxing, you already know. Let's go. Support. Ryan versus Diabo is what we need. Shakur needs to do what T.O. was supposed to do and clean up the 140-pound division. All right? You know, everybody got their opinions, but there's universal opinions just like there's universal attraction, right? Y'all see the poll right now. Y'all see what is the biggest fight? Is it Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia? Rematch. Is it Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis? We're going to be talking about the aura of Tank and why these guys right now should take advantage while Tank has to deal with his legal issues. Why Tank, we don't know where he's going to be back in the ring. But before Gervonta Tank Davis, the aura of Gervonta Tank Davis, the fan base of Gervonta Tank Davis feels like, you know what? It's time to get serious. It's time to get back in rhythm. It's time to get back active. Whatever Gervonta Tank Davis want to attach his name to will be probably, arguably, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. So Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, get this fight done. You know why? Because if Gervonta Tank Davis come out of nowhere and say, you know what, I want Shakur, then we could honestly say that probably Shakur versus Tank will be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. What about Canelo Alvarez says, okay, yes. Okay, yo no tengo más peleas. Me ganó Bo Crawford. En la 168 no hay nadie para pelear. No sé con quién pelear. I don't know who to fight. All right, okay. My back is against the wall. All right, David Benavidez, el monstruo. Vamos pelear. Let's fight. If Canelo Alvarez decide to fight David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, the Ecuadorian monster, the Dominican monster, the AKA La Bandera Roja, that will be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. That will be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. You feel me? Virgil Ortiz, Jerome Bruce Ennis. That's a big fight. If they could get that thing situated, if Virgil Ortiz, Golden Boy Promotions, Rick, Oscar de la Hoya, Eric Gomez, the arbitration, the judges, they can get that. If they could get the ish together, the zone, they could get that ish together and deliver us Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Bruce Ennis in their prime. That will probably be one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. Hey, yo, put it this way, because the year is young. The year is young. I know some of y'all may disagree. But if Deontay Wilder knocks out Derek Chisora, and then everybody be like, oh man, and Deontay Wilder said, bomb squad, I'm back. And then he said, I would knock out Usyk. Maybe Deontay Wilder versus Alexander Usyk would be one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But you know what? It's looking good. It's looking right. 2026. Hey, yo, 2000. Look. Even the fights that's not supposed to be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? The aura of, and look at the 154-pound division. Let me tell you like this. If Turkey Al-Shay says, you know what? I want to put all of my money into the 154-pound division. All of my money. Just like I put all of my money to the Bud Crawford versus Canelo. Just like I put all of my money in the heavyweight division, I would want a tournament to the 154. I would want Josh Kelly, Virgil Ortiz, Jerome Bruce Ennis, Errol Spence, Jermel Charlo, Forndura, Xander Zayas, Keith Thurman. This would be good. This would be historic. This would be the best tournament there is in the history in the sport of boxing. That would be good. Turkey Al-Shay, listen to the boxing fans. If you do the 154-pound tournament, that will be the greatest tournament in the history of the sport of boxing. Boots, Virgil, Josh Kelly, Bakram, you could still be in the mix. Bowachuk, be in the mix. Madrimov, be in the mix. Everybody, be in the mix. Hey, yo. In women's boxing, it could be lit. In women's boxing, it could be lit. Alicia Baumgartner, daring to be great, to face Amanda Serrano. Woo! Yeah. How about Clarissa Shields versus Shadeja Green? Yeah. How about the trilogy of Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron? Man, even the women division, it could get lit. Right? It could get lit. Then Michaela Mayer and Clarissa Shields, I don't know nothing about that. I know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I think she's Michaela Mayer is kind of a little small to go up there and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, there's a lot of fights to be made. Shout out to Emiliano Vargas yesterday. Shout out to Navarrete yesterday. And shout out to, I'm going to say it like this, man. Shout out to the Mexican fan base, because you know what, the Mexican fan base, not only do they pour that type, the amount of money into the sport of boxing, but the way that they stay devoted and they stay supportive of their fighter. Navarrete hasn't looked great throughout the past 3 years, but the Mexican fan still out there and supports Navarrete. Shout out to Nunes. Put up a great fight yesterday. We got Keyshawn Davis in the mix, ladies and gentlemen. Keyshawn Davis. I just wish, and look, I understand Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis friendship. If y'all been following the channel, I've been talking about Keyshawn Davis. We've been supporting Keyshawn Davis way before he even turned pro, and he told us a long time ago he would never fight Shakur. And Shakur say he would never fight Keyshawn. But if they decide to be like, you know what? If they decide to fight like Zach Morris and AC Slater's, we're friends forever until we meet again. We're talking about friends. If the friends decide to fight each other, that will be one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing as well. Keyshawn Davis versus Shakur, one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. I'm lit, man. All I need in the sport of boxing, like I said the other day, all we need is epic performances the accomplishment attach the performances. That's all we need, folks. That's all I want. Give me a sec. Caesar in the building. Deluxe in the building. What's good, man? Smash that like. Lou in the building. What's good, man? Lono's Boxer says, these are the 3 fights we need next from the Kings. Tink versus Roach, Ryan versus Devin, Shakur versus Anton, and Tio versus Norman Jr. Man, we talking about the biggest fight in boxing. He's talking about one division, but it's all right. We talking about the biggest fights in boxing. We're talking about the biggest fights. And let's also talk about, since we're talking about the Haneys, you feel me? Shout out to Sean Haney, bro. Shout out to Sean Haney. Shout out to Sean Haney. Shout out to Sean Haney. A lot of people out here in the social media and the boxing community is trying to like shame Sean Haney. I don't understand why. Shout out to Sean Haney for doing what a lot of people don't want to do, what a lot of people scared to do, what a lot of people don't have the balls and the cojones to do and step inside that ring. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Shout out to Sean Haney, bro. Shout out to Sean Haney. Sean Haney lost. Sean Haney lost. Well, y'all wasn't posting when he won. Y'all didn't post when he won his first amateur bout. Y'all wasn't posting that. Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, your favorite fighter lost many times in the amateurs, bro. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, all these guys. Hey, yo, Usyk lost to Sean Porter in the amateurs. Do you think that Sean Porter could beat Usyk now? Hell the F no, right? Why y'all making this a big story? Huh? Y'all hate that Haney so much. And look, I've been critical of Devin, but the criticism of Devin always been, okay, he's not the entertaining fighter. And it's been, you know what I'm saying, the Teos and the Haneys and the stuff like that, and the split in the division and stuff like that. And I talk my shit and we make it. But at the end of the day, Devin Haney is a future Hall of Famer. Devin Haney is a good guy. Devin Haney don't talk that much shit like that. He really don't rub people the wrong way in terms of trying to be a villain. Now, we all know that Bill Haney, one of the best managers and trainers in the sport of boxing, you know what I'm saying? He could ruffle some feathers. He could make a man, I don't like that Bill Haney said this and said that. But in terms of this, Devin Haney is really hard to dislike as a person, as a fighter, as a businessman. He's very tough to dislike. Let's be real and let's be honest. There's content creation, and then let's just let boxing fan. Let's just keep it real. It's really hard to hate a guy like Devin Haney. Even when he does interviews, and I'm listening to the interviews, I'm like, damn, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Why people don't like Devin Haney like that? Shit, I know there's some, you know what it is? It's just like a good fight. A big fight is more than just the skills and the talent, the accomplishment. Is the storyline that leads up to the fight, right? Is a storyline. So I understand the storylines there's a lot of content that goes around the Haneys, right? We could talk about Devin Haney and the baby mama with the young thug, and we could talk about when Devin Haney got beaten by Ryan Garcia. We could talk about Devin Haney and the carnival situation. We could talk about Devin Haney when people feel like he ran versus Jose Ramirez, but there's also good. We could talk about the business element of Devin Haney. We could talk about Bill Haney being the manager of the year. We could talk about Bill Haney, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth with this boxing content creator or this fighter or that fighter. There's a lot of content going around Devin Haney, but guess what? The content and the algorithm that hits is what, and the engagement is what helps the business of the Haneys. And looking at Sean Haney now being one of the biggest stories in the sport of boxing, this is probably his fourth amateur bout, and is already have 100K, almost 100K on Fight Hype. You know, the Haney's got to be looking like this, like more money. Hey, yo, I believe right now that Sean Haney is going to be just as lucrative as a lot of your championship fighters. Hey, yo, by the 10th amateur bout, Sean Haney could get $1 million payday. I'm being honest. The way that people now want to hate Sean Haney, and there's people on my comment section that be like, yo, but Punch, you got to understand that, the thing that happened with Tiger Johnson out there in Madison Square Garden, that Sean Haney is the one that, Sean Haney will get $1 million payday by next year. And that's all has to do because of the hate. Sean Haney will make more money than a lot of your champions today in 1 year. Keep on hating on that kid. They're gonna, that the Haneys know how to capitalize. Let me tell you like this: the Haneys, hey yo, look, and I know this for a fact as a boxing content creator, and I've given him a criticism throughout the year and also praise throughout the year, because I always say that when it comes to the sport, especially the business, I said that the Haneys gonna be one of the most powerful entities in the sport of boxing, and they make the right moves. They make the right moves, whether you like it or not. Devin Haney also has humbled even me, Punch Wrong Boxing, right? We talk about email. All right, he beat George Campbell, so he took that email, throw it in the garbage. We talk about the WBC franchise. It was Devin Haney to put an end on the WBC franchise. Y'all remember? It was Devin Haney to put an end to the WBC franchise belt. He threw that shit in the garbage, just like Riddick Bowe threw the WBC to the garbage. He humbled y'all too. I knew that Devin Haney was going to beat the crap out of Brian Norman Jr. Y'all thought that Brian Norman Jr. was the boogeyman or something like that. I told you what Devin Haney was going to do. And he humbled y'all again. Even when we was talking about collectively as the boxing community said that Devin Haney, he doesn't have any power. This is power going to transition to the next division. He went into the 140-pound division. He knocked down Regis Pro because he's never been knocked down. He went to the 147-pound division again. I don't know if his power going to increase or that's a dangerous fight. There's a dangerous fight. Even Teofimo Lopez in an interview said that. Even with Bill Haney, he said that he's sending his son to the slaughter. Guess what? Devin Haney passed with flying colors and also exhibited the power of Devin the Dream Haney while he moved up. Right? So Devin Haney, I'm going to tell you like this. He's been humble in the boxing world, including your boy Punch Wrong Boxing. Every time somebody try to dig in Devin Haney, hey, Devin Haney comes right back and humble the boxing world. Then Sean Haney is going to do the same thing. Because Sean Haney, Devin Haney's little brother, only 6 years old, and everybody talking about him losing to the amateur. If y'all already talking about him losing, probably his third amateur bout, Sean Haney is going to be $1 million fighter by next year. And put it this way, I like the footwork of Sean Haney. Great footwork, educated jab. He has grew substantially, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even I told Bill, man, why you don't want to stay in tennis, man? Tennis, that's your lane right there. Hopefully he does the tennis stuff as well, because I believe that he could be one of the biggest stars, and he got a story, also a storyline that he could be a big star in tennis as well. But hey, you want to follow in his brother's footsteps? You know what I'm saying? Can't knock a person for following their heart. All Haney gonna do is run and hug all night. I don't know about that. Lopez. I don't know about that. You know why? Because Devin Haney showed heart in that Ryan Garcia fight. Devin Haney, a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, well, Jose Ramirez, yeah, he probably, you know what I'm saying, you was using his foot, was overwhelming uses his footwork, but even when Ryan Garcia was putting hands on him and Ryan Garcia was putting him down, Devin Haney just kept right back getting up, going after Ryan Garcia. He didn't run from Ryan Garcia. He kept on getting up. Y'all wanted Bill Haney to throw in the towel, but Bill Haney believed in his son, believing the heart and the work and the particular fortitude of his son, that he wasn't going to throw the towel. And guess what? That fight right there showed me the heart and the cojones, and it showed me that, damn, Devin Haney is willing to die in that ring. That's what it showed me. I don't give a damn what anybody say. Performances doesn't lie either. Stop it with the Devin, the Herb. No. Deluxe, no hate. No, you can't hate. I know. Ladies, I'm a boxing content creator. I know this community is lucrative to hate on the Haneys. I know it's lucrative. I know there's a fan base out there to hate on the Haneys. I know. Trust me, I'm Punch Wrong Boxing. I know. But I keep it unbiased, logically, and objectively. I got to give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? I got to give credit what credit is due. In and out the ring, business-wise and technique-wise. Devin Haney has humbled me enough to the point, no, I can't hate on it. And yet nobody else either. Nah, can't hate on him. He's highly accomplished. He's always at the right place at the right time, business-wise. No. Take a step back. Take a step back. He said, got wise, then sued, bro. Come on, Punch. You know you. Nah, I don't care. But you know what? Let's talk about the fight. Because at the end of the day, we care about the fight. In the end of the day, we care about the fight. And guess what? Hold on, folks. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like. I want to tell both. Bill. I'm sorry, Ryan. And I like Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. You already know he beat Mario Barrios, becoming the WBC welterweight champion of the world. I want Ryan and Devin Haney to shut the F up. Don't stall. Don't kill momentum. I don't want to hear, I want to hear positive. I want to hear both of these guys say, we're going to do the necessary steps to make this fight done as quickly as possible, ASAP. I want Ryan Garcia to say, I need this fight to clear my name. And I want Devin Haney to say, I want this fight because he embarrassed me. Yeah, mother. Yeah. I want Devin Haney to say, yeah, of course, I'm a damn fighter. Yeah, I got PTSD of this, of the beating that Ryan Garcia gave me. Yeah. I want to get that shit back in blood. And I'll do whatever it takes to get it back in blood. And I want Ryan Garcia to say, you know what, man? They left an asterisk on my biggest performance of my career, my biggest win of my career. And it's not even on the books. I need that back in the books. I need his O. Is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I don't want to hear no stall talk. I don't want to hear I don't want to see none of these fighters throw banana peels, any hurdles. Let's get this fight done while the world of boxing is talking about this fight as the #1 fight in the sport of boxing. Do not kill momentum. Do not kill the algorithm. Do not kill the engagement. Get this fight done. The money is there. The interest is there. The legacy is there. As a matter of fact, this rematch has more of a legacy than the first fight. In the first fight, the belt wasn't in the mix because of Ryan Garcia was not professional enough to make weight. We got to hold everybody accountable. I believe that Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney skills. I believe that. And I believe that Devin Haney, deep down in his heart and his soul, he knows that it was Ryan Garcia's skills that beat him. But the storyline, it is what it is. Yes, it was. Yes, he had Osterin in his system. But we all know also as sports fans, and we've been highly educated on PEDs beyond boxing. We follow other sports. Let's not forget that in baseball, it was all about juice and these steroids. We learn a lot about certain things. And I'm going to tell you like this. One thing that we know about PEDs is that athletes use it and they work out hard. You just don't pop PEDs up your behind, you know what I'm saying? And you just sit back and go to the club and drink and party and stuff like that. No, people use PEDs, they're still working out. Ryan Garcia, and I know this for a fact, he didn't give 100% of working out. Barely in the gym. His body, you could see his body was in the worst shape of his career. That's not a person that's okay, I'm going to use PEDs and I'm going to turn into a Hercules and I'm going to beat Devin Haney. Osterin is not a Hercules PED. Do we believe that Keyshawn taking the Lamar fight? I don't know, man. Keyshawn is naming a lot of fighters right now to the point where he could water down his call out. I don't want Keyshawn to water down his call out. He calling Lamar Roach. He's calling Devin Haney. He calling Pitbull Cruz, and you know what I'm saying. Now he's watering down. Now who you really want? Richardson Hitchens. Who do you really want? You know what I'm saying. So I like the fight, but a Keyshawn and a Pitbull Cruz, I think it'll be a war. I think that fight right there will be more entertaining. It will be more entertaining. Randy con la bandera de República Dominicana. Dímelo, Randy. La música de Randy, ¿dónde está la música de Randy? La música de Randy. ¿Dónde está la música de Randy? Just pass, but the party continues. The party continues. Randy, tell him the party continues. Hey! The party continues. DJ Canelo. DJ Canelo, Alex Sensation, I love fucking music. Págame la música. Hey, yo, let me tell you like this, man. You know what I was going to do yesterday, Randy? I was gonna call the fight for Alofoque. I was gonna call the fight. Yo, right now, Alofoque is doing their thing, bro. 22 million, 2.3, 2.5 million people looking on the live. Yo, they're consistent, bro. Gotta give it up for my Dominican people, bro. 2.5 million every time they go live is a million people, 2 million, 1.7 looking on. Man, as a YouTuber, man, yo, that gives me confidence, bro. Even though there will be people looking on. Yo, bro. I gotta give it to those people, man. Shout out to all the shout out to all the content creators that they see me. I don't get this. Like, I love to see. You know what I love to see? I love to see support. I always felt like this for years. I say there's one thing about, like, there's money and then there's support. I love to see a platform. I love any platform. I don't care if you're doing cars. I don't care if you're doing games. I don't care if you're doing boxing. I don't care if you're doing, because I do this. This is my thing. I do this. I love to see when I go in the search and I see live, right? And somebody's going live and that person got 1.1 people looking on. I love to see that, bro. So, see, there's other people that hates that or whatever. They're jealous about that. I love. That's why I call Showbiz the GOAT, because I love the support that he get. I love all those people that show support, because I don't think everybody understands the sacrifice. And not only the sacrifice when you go live, not only the sacrifice when you put out a video, the mental drain that it does to your mind. Because I could be put it like this. Put it yesterday. I think I dropped 7 videos yesterday. The mental drain when you're thinking about boxing, you're thinking about content, you get in the story, you're reading like this. Everything in life around you stops. I'm not attentive to my kids that much. I'm not attentive to the woman that much. I'm not attentive to anybody that much. I'm stuck in content creating. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people understand that part. Price Mexico los 5 pesos, me dice. Yeah, you're right. Pitbull versus Keyshawn is way more entertaining fight. Plus, it has the element of Latino, Black. You know how it is in boxing, Mexican and stuff like that. It has that element as well. Since Isaac already gave Lamar a run for his money. Yes. Good looking out, man. Appreciate you with the first super chat of the day. Let's go. Pats Nation. Shout out to the members. Randy, shout out to the members. March 1st, we in a new month. But yeah, man. It's I don't think people truly understand. So when I see, even when they go live, they get the 200, they get the 300 people looking on. That's a beautiful thing to watch. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing to watch. I've been doing this for 7 years. 7, 8 years, and we got 36 people looking on. I'd be like, damn, yo. what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Did I do enough in this boxing community? Like, I don't know whether it should discourage me, whether I should keep going, whether I should stop, whether I should pivot, whether I'm like, damn, what have I done? What's my what people do, what people want to listen to, what type of energy does people want? Does people want another background? Do people want other interviews? What people want other work? What people want, what is it? No boxing. I got Keyshawn being the first to stop Pitbull. That guy is a second coming of Aaron Pryor. Trying to say that he used coke. But anyway. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is the biggest fight. Who y'all got in the rematch? I mean, look, right now, I love the momentum. Is a unification bout, welterweight division. As a matter of fact, I believe that this is the most interesting. I think it's the biggest. Is it the biggest rematch? Is it the biggest rematch since Triple G, Canelo Alvarez? Is Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia rematch the biggest anticipating rematch since Canelo and Triple G? I know there's other fights, of course. Maybe let's say in the past 15 years, because I know the rematch between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson was anticipating rematch. We understand, we get, this year we get in Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. That's been an anticipating rematch. And I'm going to say there's going to be people out there, they're going to be like, oh, man, they old, man. Man, I don't want to see them shit. I don't want to see them elderly people in the ring. You're going to watch, okay? Everybody going to watch the fight. So let's quit the downplaying of the event. Let's quit the downplaying of the event. We all going to watch Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Everybody from every corner of the world, sports fan, comeback fans, boxing fans, is going to watch it. So quit with the downplay, quit with the old jokes. We all going to watch it, and we all going to be exciting. And once it's 2 months before the fight, and they're doing their 24/7, right? And the storylines, and the first press conference is going to do 1 million views on high traffic channels, bro. If we thought that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul broke the how you saying, I'm not gonna say broke the internet, but you know what I'm saying, like it really the stream of Netflix. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. And if Floyd Mayweather turns it up and start talking shit, classic Floyd Mayweather. You know what it is? That the training montage of Floyd Mayweather is so inspirational to me. And Manny Pacquiao as well. Is the reason why a lot of people saw that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, because their training gave you that aura. Their training gave you, oh my God, that's Mike Tyson. I remember that guy. You know what I'm saying? It gave you that feeling, especially when Mike Tyson smacked Jake Paul in that press conference. And you see the body and rip. Mike Tyson did a hell of a job in selling himself, his body, his structure, the aura of Mike Tyson. And then when the fight happened, it wasn't him, but he sold that. Look at Floyd Mayweather doing pad work with his cousin, Roger Mayweather, son, right? And everybody talking about, yo, Floyd Mayweather look sharp. Floyd Mayweather look still in shape. Manny Pacquiao still in shape. This is gonna be a good fight. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. I got Floyd in the rematch though. Love Manny Pacquiao. I love Manny Pacquiao. 8th division world champion, 5-time lineal, 12-time world champion, the ambassador, the son of the humanitarian, the greatest karaoke singer of them all. The go. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll be like, I think Manny Pacquiao's going to win. Maybe I'm Floyd. But I think If I was a betting man, I will pick Floyd. But we all know that Manny Pacquiao is way more seasoned right now. Right? I don't know. Maybe it's the aura. Maybe I'm maybe I'm mind effing myself, but I believe that Floyd Mayweather beats everybody in the welterweight division right now. I think that Floyd Mayweather beats everybody right now. At the age of 49 years old, I think that Floyd Mayweather still schools these guys. But that's just me. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm still stuck in that aura. I don't know. I don't know. It's not about beating somebody to a pulp. I just think that Floyd Mayweather is still the smartest fighter in the sport of boxing. And just like they say that speed leaves. They say the last thing that goes. And I'm gonna change this whole saying of the last thing that goes is power. That's what they say, right? In boxing, they say the last thing that goes in power. But in life, the last thing that goes is what? Matter of fact, it never goes away. Wisdom. Floyd Mayweather was not winning these fights because he's the strongest and the fastest. It wasn't because of that. It was because of this. The biggest and the strongest muscle in your body is this. And Floyd Mayweather still got this. And if this could coexist with the physical part of it, even a 70% of Floyd Mayweather with this, 70% physically Mayweather, but the 110% this will beat anybody right now. He didn't take a lot of punishment. He still, if he got his reflexes. Anyway, Floyd Prime at 135, weakest division at the time. Haney is a fighter. He ain't ducking shit. I don't think that Devin Haney is ducking. And I don't think that Ryan Garcia is ducking. What I'm saying is, I don't want to hear this talk. I don't want to hear this talk right now. Hold on, let me put the picture up. I don't want to hear this talk. That's what I'm saying. What I mean about shut the F up is I don't want to hear this talk. Hold on, let me take this thing out of the way. Haney doesn't understand he's the B side. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. You know why? Because dealing with Turkey out shake, there's no such thing as A side and B side. So I don't want to hear distraction talk. Devin Haney says, let's understand you lost to Rolly 1 fight ago. I'm number 1 in the division and all that pound for pound list. If you don't want to fight, I don't want to hear that talk either. I don't want to hear all about the pound for pound. I don't want to hear that you lost to Rolly. I don't want to hear, because even if Ryan Garcia, not if, but he did lose to Rolly, that doesn't mean you beat Ryan. You should want Ryan. You should want Ryan more than anything in the world, Devin. You should want to beat his ass. I don't give a damn if Ryan Garcia loses 3 more times. Put it this way. A lot of people always say, nah, T.O. need to go back and fight George Camboso. It don't matter if T.O. beat Pedro Compa. It don't matter if T.O. beat Sando Martin. It don't matter if T.O. beats Josh Taylor. It don't matter if he beat Ortiz. It don't matter if he loses to Shakur. Everybody right now, a lot of people still saying T.O. should get the rematch with George Camboso. It doesn't matter how many times George Camboso lost after that. You need to get that get back. Because at the end of the day, not only that Devin Haney possible could be having PTSD of that fight, a lot of the boxing world has PTSD as well. That's the reason why some of the Devin Haney fans want that fight right back. They don't want to hear that talk. They don't want to hear this talk. I don't want to hear that talk from Ryan Garcia, B-side. No. At the end of the day, Ryan Garcia, you deal with Turkey and his representative directly, and Devin Haney deals with Turkey and his representative directly. And if we knew that this took place right before they went and did that fight in Times Square, all this A side, B side, VADA testing, that shit was already hashed out a long time ago. So why bring it to the forefront today? That's what I'm saying. Shut the F up. That's what I'm saying. Both sides, shut the F up. Shut the F up with the tweets. Shut the F up. I don't want to hear this. Hold on. Let me take this second. Hold on. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. Ryan Garcia says it's clearly letting the fear get to him. He's delusional. In what world does he think he has any say In his heart, he knows he lost that fight because I'm the better fighter. He can't get himself to the truthful to himself about our fight, and which I believe I do give him the benefit of the doubt in this one. I do believe that Devin Haney, deep down inside, believe that he got beaten by the better man. I don't think that he think that Osterman beat him. Probably won't happen because he's a bitch. There's not other excuse. If you are so sure what you would have won, you would take the fight. You won't because you are a bitch. Simple. Knocked you down 3 times. The next time you get dropped, you will wake up. Hold on, let me take this thing another way. You will wake up connected to an IV and doctors monitoring you. Wow. 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 Let's start our VADA testing so we can make the biggest fight in boxing. Ryan Garcia, he was replying to Ryan Garcia saying, Haney, if it's time to end you, it's time. You will be erased. I heard you speaking my name. If this is what you want, let's start the discussion. Mark my words, you'll never fight again after this. So let that sink in and accept it. Let's start the VADA testing now. Ryan Garcia said he's going to end Devin Haney. I remember when Devin Haney was the one that said that he going to, and Bill Haney said they was going to kill Ryan Garcia. They was on that Drago mode. He must die. Now Ryan Garcia got that same mode that Devin Haney had leading up to their fight. Right? Now, we all know that Turkey wouldn't be effing with Ryan Garcia if he wasn't VADA tested. We all heard what the WBC said about Ryan Garcia leading up to the fight versus Mario Barrios, that he was tested. Right? All I'm saying, folks, that y'all already hashed this shit out. Y'all already took care of this already. Why are we going back to the same old talking point? If Ryan would have beaten Rolly Romero, we would have gotten straight into the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. So the accountability in this has to go with Ryan because we never would have seen Ryan Garcia. As a matter of fact, let's give everybody need to take accountability. We already talked about the accountability leading up to the fight, and even Bill Haney in his recent interview already alluded to the mistakes that he made in the negotiations leading up to the first fight. Y'all was in champions. Y'all was the champions, right? But y'all was acting like the challengers. If Ryan Garcia did not come professional, did not come in weight, right? And y'all said that, you know what? If you don't come prepared, if you're not professional, we're ready to fight Barbosa, remember? But they took the money. They took the money, right? Because they had to, Ryan Garcia got penalized, so he had to pay Devin Haney for coming in overweight. Y'all took the money. Y'all forget to have Eddie Hearn see the contract so he could. So he, he's the guy that, you know what I'm saying, yo, let's get this from Ryan. Let's put this, the next day weigh in and stuff like that. They dropped the ball in negotiations. They had to pay for it. Ryan Garcia didn't get popped for Osterman. But the reason why he got suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission was that he did not inform the things that he was putting inside his body. He didn't put it in the VADA, in the VADA application with the VADA note, whatever. In the end of the day, I don't think, me as a boxing fan, I do not think that Osterman is what beat Devin Haney. I think that his skill set did. And I believe that Devin Haney's been in the ring with Ryan Garcia enough. I think that Devin Haney game plan was all effed up. I think it's an accountability of everything. I think it's a responsibility and accountability of everything. I don't think that Devin Haney even had the right game plan. He went out there trying to knock out Ryan Garcia. We ain't never seen that shit from Devin Haney. But I also stated, I said, y'all got to look at the amateurs of their fights. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, if you look at the amateur, Devin Haney had the same approach versus Ryan Garcia in the amateurs that he had in the pros. The difference is no headgear, 8-ounce gloves. And even with all the knockdowns, it was still in the scorecard a competitive fight. if it wasn't for the knockdowns and, of course, the point taken away, Devin Haney could have squeezed a draw or a win because he won like 6 rounds. The knockdowns is what helped Ryan Garcia. Now, Al said, Devin needs to accept the A. There's no such thing, yo, folks, there's no such thing as A side and B side when you're dealing with Turkey. So I don't want, forget about A side, B side bullshit. When you're dealing with Turkey, there's no such thing as A side, B side, bro. That's the least of your worries. Even your B side money is going to get you way more money than if you was an A side dealing with a promoter, with another promoter, like a Matchroom, like a Golden Boy Promotions, like whatever. Ask Bud Crawford, did he care if he was the B side versus Canelo Alvarez? $50 million. Ask him. Ain't no B side money. Ain't no such thing as A side and B side. And like I said, put it this way, like I said, Devin Haney, even if we implement the quote unquote A side, B side bullshit, even Devin Haney understand that if we want to, he's not A side. You know why? Because even leading up to this fight, leading up to the negotiations, leading up to the Times Square card, who was the main event? Who was the main event in the Times Square card? Who was the main event in the Times Square card? Ryan Garcia. So Devin Haney knows if they want to implement this A side, B side, in which I really don't think that Devin Haney cares. I really don't think, and I think because he was all right being the co-main event to that event. That tells you everything right there. So I think this A side, B side talking point is a distraction. I haven't heard Devin Haney say I'm the A side to this. I mean, looking at his reply, right? Maybe you could indicate it, but he didn't ever say. Maybe he's saying, yo, let's understand you lost Cerrone 1 fight ago. I'm the number 1 in the division and on the pound for pound list. If you don't want to fight, just say it. Maybe he's trying to say, Devin's trying to say, nah, I'm the A side. But he's not actually saying the A side. Maybe behind the scenes, he's saying, now you ain't going to be the A side. But who cares? Y'all getting way more money than any other y'all fight. What is it? You think that this fight is going to be, it's going to take a step back because they're going to be arguing who's going to come out first? Who's going to be on the right side and the left side? Who's going to be in the blue corner and the red corner? Really? Is that what you want to get? Devin Haney should not be caring about that. And Ryan Garcia should not be caring about that. So that's what I'm saying. This B-side, A-side shit is a distraction. Devin Haney should want Ryan Garcia, even if he has a strap or not. But Devin Haney did sign a rematch, Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia did sign a rematch, Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia did lose Cerrone Romero. But you know what? Because of the storyline, it's even better now. It's even bigger now. It's even better now. Because think about it. Then it would have looked kind of, the momentum would have been off with Ryan losing to Rolly and then getting into a Devin Haney fight. The stars align itself. It's better right now. It's bigger right now. It's more meaningful right now. So I agree when Devin Haney was talking about it's meaningful right now with the unification bout. Now it's a legacy fight. It's not a bragging rights fight. You feel me? It's not a bragging rights fight. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Plus, Ryan already beat him all around the ring. Fight Fury Films in the building. Dímelo, Fight Fury Films. Que lo que? It's still a fight because there's a lot of ass track. There's a lot of it's a fight that is still the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. It's still the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. It's still the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. What's good? What's good? We game. It's still the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. All I'm saying is, for the boxing fans, let's stay 10 toes down in this. When we hear Ryan or Devin trying to give us the little, nah, man. All y'all gotta do is just fold this picture and remind Ryan and remind Devin that all this VADA talk, all this A side and B side, all that shit was already hashed out. Ryan Garcia is a champion. So even what Devin Haney saying, let's understand, you lost to Rolly one fight ago. I'm the number one. But guess what, Devin Haney? He's a champion now. Guess what, Devin Haney? Now he's bringing something to the table that he wasn't bringing in the first fight. So his value is more than even when you fought him the first time. And Devin Haney's value is good as well because now Devin Haney is a 3-division world champion. None of y'all lineal yet. Not in this division. So both of you guys has elevated your value. But when it comes to you and Ryan and Devin, when it comes to you, it don't matter what BoxRec said. It doesn't matter what BoxRec recognizes. Hey, put it this way. BoxRec don't recognize the WBA. So anybody that want to be like, hey, yo, but you got to go to BoxRec. You see, Devin Haney still got his, oh, shit. BoxRec don't identify or recognize any undisputed champion in boxing. There is no such thing as undisputed in BoxRec. So should we recognize? Because I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you this right now. Now, you know who is not an undisputed on BoxRec. On BoxRec, Terrence Bud Crawford is not a 3-division undisputed world champion. On BoxRec, Devin Haney is not an undisputed world champion in the lightweight division. So, if any Devin Haney fans will be like, man, I'm going to fuck. Ryan tested positive. Go check BoxRec to see if Devin Haney has an L. Well, Devin Haney's not an undisputed. You want me to say that as well? To check BoxRec? Well, we know, though, we could always go back to the fight. And think about this. Put it this way. All right. If we don't want to recognize Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, okay, put it this way. How much you want to bet? You know how we gonna humble everybody. Even Devin or Ryan or whatever, who his fans, whatever. If Ryan fights Devin Haney again, right? Rematch. Are they going to have to do film study? Yes or no? In the chat, yes or no? Is Devin Haney going to do film study? Or his team? Yes or no? No, because Osterin beat him. No, it was Osterin. So you wouldn't go to do film study because you won't be prepared. You're not going to go look back at Ryan Garcia fight with you because you're going to be like, nah, that was Osterin. No, that was Osterin. The left hook was Osterin. The right hand and stuff like that was Osterin. I ain't going to look at that. That wasn't him. That was his skills. Yeah, right. That's how you humble the man. It's punch on boxing, man. Ain't no narrative. Ain't no narrative gonna penetrate. You know what I'm saying? This intellect right here, bro. Devin Haney's team will have to do film study versus Ryan Garcia. Right? They go have a rematch with Ryan Garcia. They're gonna do film study on that fight, their first fight. Yes, they're gonna do film study. They're gonna do film study. And while they're watching film study, they're not going to be like, that right hand was Osterin. That left hook was Osterin. That chin was Osterin. That footwork was Osterin. The California roll was Osterin. No. He can't land that punch. It's Osterin. The reflex is Osterin. No. They're gonna be like, oh man, yeah, man, he does got, you know what I'm saying? He does got a right hand and stuff like that. He left hook, you know what I'm saying? We gotta keep that, you know what I'm saying? He does got his movement, you know what I'm saying, his rhythm and stuff like that. We gotta disrupt the rhythm. That's what they're gonna look at. They're gonna look at that fight. And if Devin Haney not gonna look at that fight, Bill's gonna look at that fight, and the coach is gonna look at that fight to see the habits and see what went wrong and how they're gonna rewrite the wrong. That's like going back to the drawing board. Savage said, don't be surprised if they think like that, Punch. I don't think so. They not, look, they not that dumb. They didn't make it to this level because they're dumb. Also, Ryan Garcia didn't make it to this level because he's dumb. A lot of these guys didn't make it to this level because they're dumb. Now, the fighters may not look at film, but their team is. It's almost like when Floyd Mayweather used to be like, I don't look at film. Yeah, but Roger is. Senior, Floyd Mayweather Senior is. Ain't nobody going into risking your life blindly. Think about this, folks. I used to hate when people used to be like, I don't watch film. I don't watch film. Shut the F up. That's like the USA Army don't study their enemy. Oh, we're just gonna go, hey, we're just gonna go to Iran blind. We're just gonna go, we're gonna go to Afghanistan blind. We're just highly prepared for whatever, for everything. Like they don't have no intel, they don't have this, they don't have the strategy, they don't know how to. Yeah, right. I'm risking my life in that ring. I'm watching film. Yes, I'm watching film. I'm watching everything, how your eyes, how you breathe, how their footwork, your rhythm, your habits, the defensive holes, your offensive attributes. I'm watching everything because I'm risking my life. I need to be highly prepared. Fighters nowadays, they were just saying that because Floyd said it. But Floyd Mayweather got a team. He needs to watch Rolly fight. I think they're going to be watching everything because I do believe that Ryan Garcia looked at his best versus Mario Barrios. Ryan Garcia looked at his best. Everything was working on all cylinders. His jab was right there, right hand, left hook, footwork, positioning, defense, great instructions from his father. Follow the game plan. Then even when he knocked down Mario Barrios, he didn't act like that. He didn't act like this is abnormal. He went right back to the corner, to the neutral corner, get ready, and kept on doing the same thing. He didn't go overly try to smother his work or nothing like that. Kept on fighting like he's fighting a 12-round bout. Overzealous, nothing like that. That's when you look. That's the type of knockout. He's a natural knockout artist. He's doing something is not like out of the norm. I love this poised. I love everything about that fight with Ryan Garcia. But also, I like a lot of the shit even with the Devin Haney fight. Even with the Devin Haney fight, I like this. The highly prepared fighter is great. But you could also match that fighter that got nothing to lose, the crazy one. They got nothing to lose and go all out. Also, could have a great fight. Not a great career, but he could have great moments. Ricardo Mayorga versus Forrest. Ricardo Mayorga knows that he can't outbox Forrest. He'll go all out. Fuck it. Subriel Matias versus Puello. How Subriel Matias fought Puello? Bam, 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 bam. He knows he's not going to outbox Puello. I'm just going to fight him. Knock me out, whatever. That's how Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney. I'm going to go all out. If you whatever you want to do, hit me with any shot, any jab you want, I'm going to go all out. Knock me out, boom. That's also a scary fighter. As much as the highly prepared, skillful fighter is a scary one to fight, the one that got nothing to lose is ready to die in that ring and ready to get all the lumps. That dude right there is Nunes yesterday. Nunes don't give a damn if they would have took his eyeball out and gave it and flinged it to the damn audience. He still would have fought Navarrete. He would have been fighting Navarrete. Yesterday, even the commentator, even Julio Cesar Chavez was saying, "Para las peleas, Paras las peleas. Oh my God. Paras las peleas. The commentator, everybody was saying, stop the fight. Nunes, I don't care. Can you see? I don't see nothing. The doctor was like, you see anything? I don't see. Yes, I see everything. I see everything. He's over there. I see. I can continue. I can continue to fight. I can continue to fight. That motherfucker couldn't see shit. Fight Fury Film. At 147, do you think anything changes? No. I think that Ryan Garcia just got his number. And the scary part about Ryan Garcia right now is that Ryan Garcia is taking this shit serious. Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney as much as the people want to talk about Oscar, and Ryan Garcia was not even fit to fight. Ryan Garcia was drinking a beer in the weigh-in. Ryan Garcia was having orgies in New York City. Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney from pillar to post at 50% of himself. 50% of himself. And Devin Haney that knows Ryan Garcia. See, that's one thing. Devin Haney can't mind F himself that much when it comes to Ryan Garcia. You've been knowing Ryan Garcia ever since y'all was teens. You've been knowing Ryan Garcia ever since you were teens. The only off thing that Devin Haney was looking at Ryan Garcia. Man, what the fuck is wrong with him, man? He acting weird, man. He on some shit. He on some drugs. First it was cocaine. Because he know Ryan Garcia. Man, he's mentally off. Shit, I'm going to knock him out. Shit, he's mentally off. You know they was getting hype over that. And that's why Devin Haney took that approach and tried to knock him out. He think he wasn't. Because you know why Devin Haney approached that? Because he knew that Ryan Garcia was not fit to fight. Because Ryan Garcia was not here and physically 100%. So I don't want to hear this Osman stuff. Ryan Garcia went out there to knock out Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney went out there to knock out Ryan Garcia because Devin Haney, knowing Ryan Garcia, knew he was not physically and mentally prepared to perform at the highest level. Because Devin Haney doesn't fight like that. Good looking out. And I just think that, and I said it leading up to the fight, I said that Ryan Garcia gave Devin Haney his last 8 count. And nothing is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is going to be no headgear and 8-ounce glove. That's it. Ryan didn't say wouldn't do VADA, sign the contract. I think all that VADA shit is all bullshit. I don't give a damn about doing VADA and stuff like that. These motherfuckers don't give a damn about that either, in my opinion. I don't think I don't think so. I think that's a storyline. That's a storyline to sell the fight. I don't think deep down inside that Devin Haney thinks that it was Oscar that beat. I think when they do their studies on Oscar, they be like, all right, man. Motherfucker acted like he was juicing and popping needles up his ass and shit like that and became Hercules and thought that Ryan Garcia was going to turn green. Stop. That's just a storyline to sell the fight. To sell it that, yo, Ryan Garcia did not beat me. He has no chance in beating me. He needed to be the juice. So now Oscar is juice. Man, juice is anabolic steroids, bro. Let's not now put juice on every performance enhancing drugs. Do you know that hydroxycut is a performance enhancing drug? Do you know that what you call it? Viagra is a performance enhancing drug. Nobody called Viagra juice. Nobody called hydroxycut juice. You know what I'm saying? Juice, let's know what juice is. Juicing is anabolic steroids. Juicing is HGH. That's juice. Juice ain't no goddamn aspirin, bro. I don't want the Haney's to stand on that. I don't want Devin Haney to keep on saying that it was aspirin. If it was anabolic steroids, HGH, if it was the shit that fucking Big Baby Miller was using and getting caught with, then I'll be like, yo, nah, man, kick him out the sport. But come on. Don't stand on the ostrich shit. They don't understand the difference between banned substance and real steroid. Exactly. You know what's a banned substance? You see the grocery store, you see that that it says 5-hour energy, the little thing, the little chaquita that they sell in the counter in the deli. That's a banned substance. That's a banned substance, ladies and gentlemen. So, correct. They don't understand the difference between bad substance and real steroids. Facts. If he was using, because you know what's a steroid that almost a lot of athletes use? Cortisone. Cortisone is just as much, way more. I'm not gonna say way more enhancement than a fucking aspirin. And let me tell you like this: a lot of fighters use cortisone shots. Rap Stop Boxing Out is the voice of the UK, London. They gotta fill out the paperwork, inject my hand because I got problems with my hands, bro. They inject my hands, and the other team knows that they're using the cortisone for their hands. You know what I'm saying? Just like what? Manny Pacquiao couldn't get his shot. Floyd Mayweather got his shot before the Manny Pacquiao fight because he sent the paperwork early. Man, all these guys are taking shots. Cortisone is a steroid. Basketball players use cortisones. Baseball players use cortisone. Derek Jeter used cortisone. I believe that he used like fucking 30 shots of cortisone, I believe in 2009 with his ankle. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't want to hear this awesome stuff. I want to hear skills, pay the bills. I want to hear that. And I believe that Ryan Garcia versus Devin the Dream Haney rematch is one of the biggest fights, or the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But I'm gonna tell you like this, folks. They better get it up. They better sign that shit now. And I know they already signed a while ago. They gotta get that fight done immediately. Let it be the biggest fight. Get all the money y'all need to get. I believe that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia should not get less than $20 million a piece. Yeah, I said it. Conor Big got $15 million to fight Regis Prograis. I believe that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia should not get $20 million guaranteed a piece. A piece, guaranteed. And I'm not talking about no pay-per-view or nothing. They in the back end, they get that, but guaranteed, that's the minimum they should get for this fight. The minimum. Let me tell you like this. I know some of y'all ain't going to like to hear this, and I was saying it the other day. Once Gervonta Tank Davis hunger is activated, or anytime he want to activate that shit, Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be the biggest fights in the sport of boxing, especially in this side of the pond. All Gervonta Tank Davis has to say, I want Shakur Stevenson. Let me ask y'all in the chat, what's the biggest fight? Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis, or Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, the rematch. If you have one to pick, you only can have one. We could only have one. Ryan versus Devin rematch, Shakur versus Gervonta Tank Davis. We can only have one. Let's see what's the biggest fight. Let's see if still Gervonta Tank Davis still reigns supreme in this generation of the cash cow of this generation. Shakur versus Tank. Maria says Shakur versus Tank. Only 10. Let me see. Maria says Shakur versus Tank. That's one. Any Tank fight will be bigger. If you only have, we could only have one. We could only have one. We can't watch two different screens. We could only have one. The whole boxing industry says we could only have one. The boxing god says you. The boxing god says
you can only have one. Choose now. You can only have one fight. The Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch. or the 4th Division World Champion, 2-time lineal Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis. What do you want? You can only have one. Do you understand me, boxing community? Do you understand me? You only have one pick. Now pick it.
The boxing god says, if the boxing god says only one, who y'all got? That's a tough one, bro. I might choose Tank versus Shakur because I haven't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? I might choose Shakur and Tank because I've already seen Devin and Ryan. So maybe it's kind of, maybe it's not a fair question. You know what I'm saying? Because if I only had one, I already got a Devin and a Ryan. You know what I'm saying? So it's a trick question. Maybe it's a trick question. Maybe it's an unfair question. How about the David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez? How about that? If you only could pick one.
If you only could pick one. David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez or Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Pick it right now. Which one? You can only have one, damn it. You boxing community is filth. You ungrateful. You can't get all the fights because you're ungrateful. Pick one. I can only deliver one. I can only bless you with one. David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez or Shakur versus Tanky. Who do you want?
Witty with the $2 super chat says Ryan and Devin in a stadium bigger than Canelo and Bud. For me, yes, for me, Ryan versus Devin, the rematch is bigger than Canelo Alvarez and Bud. Yes. I understand Bud. Yes, Bud beat Canelo. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think he was going to do that. Of course, I ate my crow for days, weeks, and months. But even now that I even watched the fight, I don't think I could ever go back and watch the fight. Like, I was impressed with the win, but it wasn't a performance that I'm like, yo, I got to go watch that fight again. Like, I don't know. It was very, if I could criticize guys like, you know, if we could criticize, damn, yo, Devin Haney fought this person and that shit was boring. The Jose Ramirez shit was boring. The Shakur Stevenson versus Eddie De Los Santos and Nakatilla was boring. Canelo versus Bud Crawford was boring, bro. It was. Even if Canelo Alvarez would have won and it would have gone the same way, it would have been boring. I'm going to be honest. Canelo has been one of the most boring fighters of late. Canelo versus Bud and Canelo versus William Skull. Canelo has been a boring fighter of late. You know, sometimes you give one fight, right? And you could underperform, right? But 2 fights in a row, I think that Canelo Alvarez, and it happens. I'm not saying this because I believe that Canelo Alvarez skills is not there. I just think that Canelo Alvarez that's it. He's 50 plus fights and he's been fighting since he was 15 years old. It happens to a lot of great fighters in the history of the sport of boxing. I think that Canelo Alvarez's next fight, he's going to lose bad. I think he's going to get hurt. And it's a possibility that Canelo Alvarez is going to get knocked out. I think so. Not because that Canelo Alvarez, I just think that it happens. It's the history of the sport of boxing. You know, Mike Tyson is one of my favorite fighters ever, bro. He got knocked out by fucking McBride. It just happens in the later part of these fighters' career that you just get laid out by guys that was not supposed to lay you. Look at Roy Jones Jr., bro. Look at Roy Jones Jr. You know how many times he got laid out? After the Antonio Tarver, he got laid out by Glenn Johnson. And they got laid out there in Russia. He got laid out. He was getting laid out all over the world, bro. Yo. Fight Fury Films. Con lo the episo. God bless you, Fight Fury Films. I appreciate you, man, with the contributions, man. I want to see whoever is willing to go out on their shield. Yeah, man, that's what I want to see, man. That's one thing I don't see a lot of fighter. And look, a lot of people was criticizing Deontay Wilder when he said I want to go out on my shield, and everybody was like, "Nah, man, it was good." And Michael Breland threw in the towel, man. He was trying to save you. He was trying to save you. I like how Deontay Wilder went out on his shield versus Tyson Fury in the trilogy. I like how he went out, but I want to see that from more fighters. You know what I'm saying? Even look, even when Errol Spence, look, Devin Haney went out on his shield. Devin Haney was fighting like he wanted to go out on his shield. Errol Spence was going out on his shield. Remember, they stopped it while he stood up. Errol Spence wanted to keep on fighting, even though he was getting effed up all over the ring by Bud Crawford. I don't think we see that enough. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nunes. Nunes went out on his shield as well. And I was even getting irritated with the corner. Like, damn, man. All right, man, stop the fight. Come on, man. You really want him to get blind, bro. Let him live to fight. Even Eddie Hearn was screaming at his corner to stop the fight. He said, for 2024, Ryan beating the brakes off Devin is ingrained into my brain. Exactly. That's why Devin Haney should want this fight more than anything in the world. It shouldn't be no damn hiccups. It shouldn't be no damn hurdles. It shouldn't be no damn banana peels on the no. And I believe that Ryan Garcia should rewrite the wrong for himself as well. More professional. Run it back. Make it right. Make it right. Both of these guys. And I think, to be honest, Devin Haney needs this more than Ryan mentally. Now, you could have people around you and they can mind F you and say, oh, yo, he was dirty. Don't worry about it. It's not on your record. Don't worry about it. Devin Haney is a human being. Devin Haney went through that shit in the ring. Devin Haney's going to need that get back. And I think that Devin Haney is going to train his ass off. I think he's going to be prepared for Ryan Garcia, just like he's been prepared throughout his whole career. Remember, in the amateurs, they 3 apiece. Ryan Garcia just got 1 up on him. And I think that Devin Haney is, if Devin Haney could not get knocked down. But even though Ryan Garcia, he looking like an exceptional elite boxer in his last outing. And some people are going to be, well, that's Mario Barrios. Well, shit, I don't give a damn. Ryan Garcia, he looked very, very polished, very, very skilled. His body was great. He didn't look. Ryan Garcia did not even look drained. Ryan Garcia put in the work. Mentally, physically, professionally. Devin Haney's always professional. I think there's going to be an incredible matchup. I think there's going to be some adversity that Devin Haney that needs to overcome, and I think that he will overcome. And I think that people could also be surprised that, hey, Devin Haney got the skills to even buzz a Ryan Garcia. I believe that fight, he was a little bit buzzed. Ryan Garcia was a little bit buzzed in one of the rounds too. You know what I'm saying? But Devin Haney's not a killer like that. He doesn't have the killer instinct, so he's not a finisher. That's the only thing that's different between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. But even Ryan didn't finish Mario Barrios, but he's more of a finisher than the Devin the Dream Haney. And put it this way, Ryan Garcia didn't even finish Devin Haney. So I think Devin Haney needs this more, than a Ryan. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that if, let's say, Turkey on Shake wants a fight, I don't think that Devin Haney is in position to really say no to certain fights if they want the certain money. They're good businessmen. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Turkey on Shake, I don't even know where would the Devin Haney's be business-wise. Man, Turkey on Shake even stopped them from suing. And that's what I mean. There is no hurdles. I don't want to hear hurdle talk. Y'all all was in the same room. Y'all all agreed before the Times Square card. Everything is in play. I don't want to hear none of this. I don't want to hear none of this. I don't want to hear none of that. That's all distractions for us. And I don't feel like any boxing fan should accept any distractions from Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. A side talk, B side talk, where I'm pound for pound, where I'm the number one in the welterweight division. Shut the F up, both of y'all. Y'all was ready to throw down after the Times Square card and everything was hashed out. VADA was taken care of. The A side, B side bullshit was taken care of because we all know that Ryan Garcia was the main event. So Devin Haney felt like, you know what, Ryan Garcia, you are the A side even after you whooped my ass because I was in the same card in which you was the main event. So I don't want to hear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Just in with the $5 super chat. Good looking out, bro. He said, my guy, found out about you through Showbiz channel. You official, brother. God bless and hope to see you and show call a fight together soon. Good looking out, bro. Shout out to Showbiz, the GOAT. Yeah, man, that's my guy right there, man, doing wonderful things, man, for the zone, partnering up. You know what I'm saying? It's an inspiration for humble boxing content creator like myself, and I appreciate you, my brother, for that. Yeah, man. Hey, yo, Showbiz was calling a fight with, I forgot the dude's name that he was doing with the zone, man. Imagine Punch Drone Boxing and Showbiz calling a fight for the zone. Shout out to the zone. They was here several lives ago as well, man, showing me love, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. So I want the boxing world. Don't allow Ryan nor Devin to distract us from any hurdle talk, any banana peel talk, any talk like that that's going to stop the momentum. I hate when fighters start talking this. That's why Turkey is here. That's why they kept on saying Turkey is here because it prevents us from all this A side, B side bullshit. So Ryan, forget about this. Oh, Devin Haney's a B side. Who cares, bro? Everybody knows that because of the Times Square card that you are that guy. But at the end of the day, you need that fight. Devin needs that fight. The sport needs that rematch. Your legacy could be enhanced with the rematch because now, legacy-wise, is a legacy fight. It's not a bragging rights fight. See, that's one thing about the Virgil versus Boots fight. That's a bragging rights fight. Do I want to see Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz? What I want to see them fight for a belt? Yeah, I think so. I think people could be like, yo, belts don't matter. But when it's all set and clear, the only thing that they're gonna have is their legacy. Legacy reigns supreme. Legacy is the thing that's gonna. When you have a downfall in life, your legacy is gonna lift you back up. Your legacy is gonna keep relationships and partnerships, right? That's why Mike Tyson could go bankrupt. Mike Tyson could have his lows, but his legacy reigns supreme. His legacy is the one that. There's people still interested in legacy. But if you don't have a legacy, because money comes and goes, right? Your legacy is going to lift you up. Your legacy is going to have you, oh, let's do a commercial on this. Your legacy is going to be interesting. So do I want to see Boots versus Virgil? Hell yeah. And do I believe that the number one fight in the 154-pound division? I believe in terms of attraction, right? The energy, the engagement, and stuff like that. Well, we want to see, yes, but I'm not gonna reposition who Xander Zayas, the unified champion, is. We can't put him in the back burner. We can't put Josh Kelly beating Bakram, the guy that was the boogeyman in the 154-pound division, in the back burner. We can't put Fundura that's gonna be facing Keith Von-Tom Thurman and act like Keith Von-Tom Thurman is nothing, act like Fundura is not nobody, and we're gonna put them behind Virgil and Boots. No, because then now we doing a injustice to legacy. So as much as I want to see Virgil and Boots, Xander Zayas is the man to beat. Josh Kelly is the man to beat. Fundura, let's see what's going to happen if there's 4 more weeks to go with the Fundura versus Thurman. If Thurman beats Fundura, shit, Thurman is back at it. If Thurman beats Fundura, then Keith Von-Tom Thurman is the man to beat. Virgil versus Boots is just bragging rights. I love the fight. I love the resume that Virgil Ortiz have gotten in the 154-pound division, beating Mazurmov, who gave Bud Crawford a run for his money. And that's the reason why Mazurmov is like, you know what I'm saying? That was a great win, the Boachuk win. People thought that Virgil Ortiz, that was a controversial loss, but at the end of the day, he showed grit, determination, and stuff like that. But got to give a lot of credit to Virgil Ortiz for standing back up and showing the cojones that he did versus Boachuk. And then he fought Erickson Lubin, knocked out Erickson Lubin in the first round. I didn't even think he was going to do that shit to Erickson Lubin. I thought it was going to be a competitive fight. So his resume is almost like it equates to a champion. But if we are the people that's always talking about legacy reigning supreme, we can't contradict ourselves. We can't be hypocrites. Yo, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is a better fight because it's a unification bout. But then we go to the 154-pound division and we be like, the best fight is Virgil and Boots, and try to throw Xander Zayas, Josh Kelly, and Fundura in the back burner like they ain't do nothing. Nah. Boots got to put in some work in the 154-pound division. I want Virgil and Boots to be calling out Xander Zayas and calling out the winner of Fundura and Thurman and calling out Josh Kelly. I mean, Boots and it was what Eddie Hearn said that they gotta they offered Josh Kelly a deal to fight Boots Ennis, and Josh Kelly was like, man, what? I got more money fighting on the prelims with Turkey Al Sheikh, and I'd rather fight a champion. And he became a champion. Why don't Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz? I'm sorry, why doesn't Boots Ennis and Eddie Hearn? And now that Eddie Hearn got Josh Kelly, why don't y'all put that fight together? People are tippy-toeing around certain things. Oh, now it's a risk. Shit, if I put Boots versus Josh Kelly and Josh Kelly survives this fight and beat Boots, then the big fight with Virgil and Boots is not... Nah, we got to keep on calling for the right fights. Boots versus Virgil was a bragging rights fight. Good, yo, facts. Boots versus Virgil was a bragging rights fight to start their strive toward legacy. Until then, you right, Punch, it's just bragging rights fight. Yep, it's just a bragging rights fight. We cannot knock these guys. We cannot be saying, because think about it, it's always a contrast. It's like we pick and choose whether a fight should go for legacy. What is the criticism of Gervonta Tank Davis? There's fans of Gervonta Tank Davis that's heavily critics of Gervonta Tank Davis. Yo, Tank don't want to fight for belts, yo. Tank doesn't want to fight, you know what I'm saying, the legacy fights. Tank. But then we go to the 154-pound division and say that Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis is the best fight in 154. And we knock legacy and the fighters that have legacy. That's why there's certain fighters that don't even want to engage in the community, in the boxing community. You don't see these fighters engaging with streamers that doesn't have nothing to do with boxing. They don't even come to this community to show us love. They don't come to this community to elevate their name and their brand. So when they don't do an interview with us, we still keep talking about them. They'd rather go with Eden Ross, and they rather go with these streamers that doesn't know nothing about the sport of boxing. And every time I'm listening to these damn interviews with these streamers, they be asking some dumbass questions. Just like when Mike Tyson was on Hot 97, they asked him, do you think that you could beat Floyd Mayweather in his prime? And Mike Tyson had to say it 3 times. I wouldn't fight Floyd Mayweather because we're not even in the same division. That's what happens when these fighters go to these other platforms, streamers, or nothing, platform that had nothing to do with boxing, be asking dumbass questions. Mike Tyson, do you think that you could have beaten Floyd Mayweather in his prime? I know Mike Tyson was in that interview saying, what the fuck am I doing here, man? Really? Like, you're going to interview me, at least study the shit. But sometimes fighters go over there because they don't want to be heavily criticized and heavily, given the devil's eye when they get an interview, right? Everybody waiting for that viral moment. But even the boxing community, we need to stop being bipolar. Sometimes we care about legacy, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we care about undisputed, sometimes we don't. Shit. Hey, yo, do you want to see the undisputed in the heavyweight division with Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury? Hell yeah. Undisputed is the ultimate thing. Do you want to see what's the fight in the light heavyweight division? The undisputed. Yeah, the undisputed. Bivol versus Beterbiev. That's the fight. That's the ultimate shit. Undisputed. In 154, you want to see Brian Castano versus Jermell Charlo? Yeah, it's undisputed. That's the last fight. It's the fight that needs to take place. What about the 147-pound division? Do you want to see the undisputed of Buck Crawford versus Earl of Shoe Spence? Yeah, that's the last fight. It's undisputed. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to see the undisputed? Do you want to see the undisputed fight? Right? In a 160-pound division with Demetrius Andre and Canelo Alvarez? No. Demetrius Andre ain't do nothing to get a Canelo Alvarez fight. He just want payday. But I thought that undisputed was the shit, and that's what I mean. Even in this community, they never wanted to see that Demetrius Andre get an opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez, because we all know, as a Canelo Alvarez fan, as a Canelo Alvarez, as boxing pundits, and we got an eye for talent. We know what's the weakness of Canelo Alvarez. The weakness of Canelo Alvarez, that he doesn't do great versus southpaw slick fighters. And that's the reason why the narrative was overwhelming. You don't got to face. You don't got to face. The Mexicans. You don't have to face him. No pelees con Demetrius Andre. Él no necesitas. He didn't earn it. Bro, that's undisputed. No le importas. He don't deserve it. He's with payday. Yeah, because you know Demetrius Andre is going to give him that work. Just like Lara did. Just like Floyd did. Just like Bud Crawford did. We like them pick and choose. When is a legacy fight, when is not. Sometimes we choose bragging rights fights over unification bouts and undisputed bouts. Sometimes we try to say, we wait till somebody do all the work, and then when they do all the work, we try to shame them with somebody that haven't done shit. I wanted to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez, but I ain't shaming Canelo Alvarez for David Benavidez at the time. I'm talking about before the Caleb Plant fight. I ain't gonna shame Canelo Alvarez, got a 4-division world champion, super middleweight undisputed, and then at the time, David Benavidez haven't even had a Caleb Plant fight. And I'm gonna shame on Canelo Alvarez. That's not an icon versus icon fight. That's not a pound for pound versus pound for pound. Now David Benavidez is that guy, but I wouldn't shame him at that time. I remember when Jermell Charlo became an undisputed, and people was trying to say that Tim Tszyu is the better fighter. There was a poll out there and said, who you think will win, Tim Tszyu or Jermell Charlo? And I was arguing with people, debating people. Are you crazy? You telling me this guy cleared his division and Tim Tszyu hasn't done nothing? The first fight in America was with Gausha. He got dropped by Gausha. You're telling me that Tim Tszyu, the one is better than Jermell Charlo? Y'all going crazy, bro. Y'all crazy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Jermell Charlo piped your mistress, your baby mama, your wife. I don't know. You can't hate somebody that much. You can't hate somebody that much. Like I was talking about earlier, you can't hate somebody that much. Everybody hating on Sean Haney now because he lost an amateur bout, probably his third amateur bout. Yo, Sean Haney ain't shit. Sean Haney ain't shit. You see, that's what happened, yo. Sean Haney is doing something that most people don't got the balls to do and step inside that ring, talk the talk, and walk the walk. Yo, but you got to understand, Punch, but Sean Haney be talking shit. Yeah, because he spent his youth hearing a bunch of people hate on his damn brother, of course. What you expect? How much you want to bet if they was talking about you, talking shit about you, and you have a little brother or a big brother, they're going to talk their shit too. You don't think that Sean Haney heard all the hate that he gets from his brother? And let's be honest, hey, I was one of the ones that was heavily critical as well. But shit, the Haney humbled my ass. Yeah. Haney humbled my ass. I digress. Good looking now, VW con los 5 pesos. Yo, you put that fight game in good, worthy order, Punch. Appreciate you, Punch. Thank you, man. Appreciate you with a $5 super chat, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Yo, it's funny. It's funny. Put it this way. It's funny when people be like, yo, but you got to understand, yo, I remember I said, yo, Ryan Garcia gave Devin Haney his last 8 count in the amateurs. Yo, they 3-3 in the amateurs. Now you got a whole, there's a large community of boxing fans that be like, so why are you talking about the amateurs? The amateurs doesn't matter. The amateurs doesn't matter, Punch. And I'll be like, yo, you got to count the amateurs and stuff like that because their skill set is built off the amateurs. All what these guys are doing is just sharpening their tools in the professional level. But if you look at all these guys, in the amateur, I'm talking about the right before they turn pro, when they're going around the world, they're going to the Caribbean tournaments, the Pan American game, the USA Olympic trials. They're going to going to tournaments against Ukraine and Russia and all of that. If you look at their skill sets, the same skill set. It's just now they're pro, they just sharpen up their skill set. Oh, but punch, the amateurs doesn't matter, punch. The amateurs doesn't matter. Stop talking about the amateur punch on boxing. The amateur, who cares about the amateurs? All right. So why the fuck y'all talking about Sean Haney's amateur? Huh? Sorry, damn it, it's a Sunday. Excuse my language. And that's what I mean. People pick and choose. I love talking about the amateurs. Look, yesterday, throughout the week, I'm talking about the amateurs out there in Bulgaria. Huh? I'm talking about who's going to be the next American great heavyweight from Illinois. Huh? USA. I'm talking about JoJo. I would know ya. Huh? The Phenom in the heavyweight division. I know he got the bronze medal yesterday out there in Bulgaria. I don't know if y'all follow the amateurs. Your boy Punch does, right? The amateurs doesn't matter. Oh, but it matters with Vasily Lomachenko, though. It matters with Usyk, though. It matters with Rigondeaux, though. As a matter of fact, if the amateurs doesn't matter, why the hell do we like to shame Keyshawn Davis to fight Andy Cruz since the amateurs doesn't matter? And that's what I mean. We pick and choose when to respect the amateurs and when we don't. Why do we shame Keyshawn Davis to face Andy Cruz since the amateurs doesn't matter? If I say, yo, what Demetrius Andre was good in the amateurs doesn't matter. But then you want to shame Keyshawn Davis for Andy Cruz because of the amateurs. But then y'all don't want to listen about the approach of Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney because, forget about the amateurs. And yo, but Mazurov was good versus Bud Crawford because Mazurov had 300 plus bouts in the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? That's why Bud Crawford struggled with Mazurov because he had. So now you care about the amateurs. But what about when I say that Adrian Broner had over 300 bouts in the amateurs? It doesn't matter. The amateurs doesn't matter. What about Deontay Wilder, a bronze medal? You know what I'm saying? In the amateurs, you feel me? In the Olympic, he can't box. It doesn't matter about the amateurs. It doesn't matter. All right. So now are we talking about Sean Haney and the amateurs? And he just started boxing. And that's the thing. We all know that Sean Haney just started boxing. And to be honest, you know what? Sean Haney looked it good for a kid that just started. He looked it good. He looked it good. I don't care what anybody say. I like his footwork. I like the way that he was popping the jab. I like he was doubling and tripling the jab. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that he's putting in the work. I like his athleticism. You know what I'm saying? He just started. You know what I'm saying? So why is this hate? We're searching. We're desperately searching for a smear campaign. Fight Fury Phil. Todos los días pesa comprar comida china para la familia. I want to see Emiliano Vargas get a championship fight. He seems like a solid fighter. And I'm going to say like this. Yes, he does. He is. And I say since the beginning that he's better than the other two brothers. But the same thing we say about Abdullah Mason, he got to tighten up on that defense. I like his warrior spirit. We like the offensive. We don't want to contradict ourselves in saying, yo, man, these guys be playing it too safe. I like that Abdullah Mason is going on now. I like that Emiliano Vargas is going on now. I like it. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying that they need to tweak a little bit on the defense. I'm not saying that play is safe, but stay a little bit more polished on the defense and have more of a poker face when you do get hit. Like when you get hit, boom, and you stay like this for a good second, you're letting the judges know that you're getting hit effectively because that's what they're going to count. In the pros, they're just not going to count that you just got hit. Remember, it's clean, effective punches. Clean, effective punches. So I think Emiliano Vargas got to get a little bit of a poker face. And even Abdullah Mason, I think they both right now, I can see they have a little bit issues in the defensive end. Their offensive is beautiful to watch. They're top of the line, great young fighters. I'm all in. I'm all in. They warriors, I'm all in. just polish up on the defense, in my opinion. Yeah, he's better than both brothers. Yeah, he's better, especially the big brother and the little brother and the middle brother. But guess what? The younger brother is for the most part is always the better brother. It's almost the same thing with the Boots family. It's the same thing with the Boots family. Jerome Boots Ennis is the younger brother of three, and he's better than his older brothers. Same thing with Emiliano Vargas. The same thing with Canelo Alvarez. He's the younger brother, right? Who else was the younger brother that's better? Well, Sean Garcia is not better than Ryan Garcia, so that didn't work there. Who else was the younger brother? I said for the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, right? Who else for the younger brother? Who else that was fighting the younger brother? I think Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is the middle brother. You know what I'm saying? Keon is the younger brother. I think Keyshawn Davis is still going to be better than all of them. But for the most part, even if the younger brother learns from the older brother's mistakes, also their business-wise, the mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a boxing family, the younger one always the best. Even you don't gotta have brothers and sisters that's fighting, but even Floyd Mayweather is better than his dad, than his uncles, right? But think about it, the wisdom that he learned from the mistakes of his dad and Roger and Jeff, you know. Tito beats Emiliano. We gotta give Emi more time. Yeah, there's no rush. To be honest, there's not even no rush, even with Xander, the unified champion at 154. And I'm going to say right now, if I was Boots and I was Virgil, I will call out Xander Zayas now at the age of 23 before he becomes a monster. See, like I said yesterday or the day before yesterday when I went live, and I said, you know what the smartest thing? Because we was talking about fights that age well. No fight has aged better. No win has aged better than Floyd beating Canelo. See, but Floyd didn't waste his time. Floyd fought Canelo at the age of 23, and then Canelo became really who he became. So every time that Canelo Alvarez was winning the Cottos and the Laras and the Triple Gs and becoming undisputed, it just made Floyd Mayweather even better. That win aged better than any win, in my opinion, in the history of the sport of boxing. That win and Roberto Duran beating Leonard, but then Leonard beat him. But let's say if Roberto Duran never gave Leonard that rematch, and then Leonard being Hearns and Leonard being Hagler, that win aged better than anything. That's why they give so much credit to Roberto Duran. But Floyd Mayweather's win versus Canelo Alvarez aged better than any other win. And the same thing Canelo Alvarez should have done with David Benavidez. Canelo should have fought David Benavidez when David Benavidez was still struggling with his nutrition, making weight, eating too many Butterfingers and burritos, and then sniffing that coke and whatever. He should have fought. Canelo should have fought David Benavidez when he wasn't 100% all in into the sport of boxing and be highly professional. Now, David Benavidez is the real monster now. Now he's dedicated. He's a family man and dedicated. Now that man is hard to beat. If I was these guys like Boots and Virgil, I will start calling out Xander Zayas, because before Xander Zayas turns 25 and 26 and go into his prime, because I always say between 27 and 32, that's when your intellect and physical ability is coexisting at the highest level. In my opinion, that's the real prime in the sport of boxing. 26, 27 to 32. That's the real prime. That's when you're athletically all there, experience, wisdom, already experienced with the lights, with the being in the limelight, having everything in order, in and out the ring, in and out the gym, used to your profession at this time. I think that's So get Xander Zayas now. Y'all better call out Xander Zayas now, because I'm going to tell you like this. Xander Zayas keep on, and he's a gym rat. Shout out to Javier Centeno. I don't think Javier Centeno get a lot of credit. Let's not forget that Javier Centeno was the same trainer that trained George Camboso to beat Teofimo Lopez. Javier Centeno got Xander Zayas. So people got to give a lot of credit to Javier Centeno. And Xander Zayas is a gym rat. And he's getting stronger, bro. Now the knockout is not coming out, and I don't think he's gonna become a knockout artist. But even Devin Haney calling out Xander Zayas, I think it was a smart move. Get him now. Get him now, because when Devin Haney turns 33, that's when Xander Zayas is walking into his prime. Let me see. No. Because Devin Haney is what? Devin Haney going to be 28 this year. Xander Zayas is what? 23 years old. So I'm going to say when Devin Haney hits 33, Xander Zayas, well, I'm telling you. And like we used to say back in the days, you can't out-age David Benavidez. So Canelo Alvarez should have fought him early. You can't out-age Xander Zayas. You can't out-age him. He's even way younger than Fundura. How old is Fundura? 29, 27, 28 years old? Get him now. But anyway, folks, man, we probably go live later on tonight. We're going to go live again later on tonight. Later on tonight. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't become a member to the channel, show support to your boy. Become a member to the channel, y'all. Let me see where the poll at. Let me see where the poll at. Hold on. Let me see if I can see the poll. If I can see the poll. Then I can't see the poll from my end. But anyway, man, tomorrow later on tonight, we back at it. We back at it 11:45 p.m. Eastern time, 12 a.m. Eastern time. Tonight, we back at it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know it's Punch Drunk Boxing. Love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.